Hi there everyone, welcome back to another video of Late Customs. Today we are working on the yellow thing once again. If you guys did not check out my previous video of us actually getting some work done on this car, definitely do so now before actually continuing with the build series. Today we are tackling the engine harness, which is currently right here. Our goal is to actually get the wiring done as soon as possible, because once the wiring is done, we are like 90% ready to get this car started up. So what I'm going to do at the moment, I'm going to start by extending all the wires, sorting everything out. Luckily I actually got everything labeled already, so the only thing left to do at the moment is just extend all the wires. The best advice I can actually give you with a wire tack in your car is to obviously label everything up. Make sure you know exactly what plug is. Like, make example, like this is for the water bottle, and where it actually like goes to, because that will determine your length. And make example, if you extend a plug, extended plug by plug. Now make example like this one right here I wrote is for the fan. So these two I'm going to extend alone, and then I'll move on to the next plug, which is this one right here. I'll move on to the next one, which is the sensor right here, and well, so it continues. It's best to do it wire for wire, because that way you don't just cut the entire loom off and get completely lost in the process. Luckily we actually have a lot of like lengthy wires right here, so we're not going to extend that much to get to the driver's side headlight. But we're going to start with the shortest wire and move our way throughout the loom to make sure we know where exactly everything goes. Another piece of advice I would like to give you guys is that just make sure with all the bends and stuff like that. So make example, this loom's gonna come up right here, tuck right there, go down in here. I still need to drill a hole right here to make sure the loom goes through here, go in. You have to make sure with all the curves it is still the correct length, because with Jody's puppy I actually made a few mistakes in the process with the length of the wires. So just make sure about that. But let's get started. I'll throw you guys a few cinematics and then we can start with the time lapse. This is probably a few days later after we filmed the clips just before this. I was currently still in the process with the wiring. I'll throw you guys a few cinematics of the wiring, how the wiring currently looks like. It looks very messy. So just check out how the wiring looks like at the moment, and keep in mind I'm only around almost 50% done with the wiring. The wiring at the moment looks very messy, and the reason for that is because we actually attempted to start up the car. So I'll throw in that few clips for you guys real quick.
Hij draait een beetje zwaar, ja. Hoe zat het eigenlijk zo maken? Ja, Tom. Oei. Kijk hier. Ah, ooit zo moet. Wat? Oh, zo. Dat moet zien. Hij staat gelukkig, maar dit is niet waar.
And after we took these clips and tried to start the vehicle unfortunately did not want to start. And then I realized that in the trunk there are two earth terminals that were not grounded. And these terminals are located on the passenger side. Well, I'm not sure if you guys can see this. Well, it's very difficult to see right here, but here are the two terminals right here. So I just took a wire and earthed it here by the lock of the boot lid. And after that we actually got fuel to the engine. So I was super excited. I heard the fuel pump go on and everything seemed well possible to actually start up the vehicle. We did not connect the lines at that time yet. So the fuel actually splattered all over the valve cover and destroyed the paint, so we have to repaint this valve cover. I had to repaint the valve cover either way because the valve cover actually became very dinged up due to changing the cam the whole time, because we had a bigger cam, smaller cam, and it was back and forth the whole time. But we need to respray the valve cover once again. And after that, like I said, everything seemed very possible. So like I said, these wires here are literally just for marker purposes. But then we thought it was the starter, because the starter was like swinging like very heavily. Like it would turn the motor, like for example, just like for 2 seconds, and then it would just like click. So we thought, or I initially thought I had a problem with my starter. Big shout out to Cat. He actually hooked me up with the starter of his car, and that's the reason why the starter on this car is like very crusty. So we fitted my starter in his car, and the car tended to start perfectly fine, and I was kind of very confused. Didn't understand why his car just started up straight away and my car did not. Swing the motor perfectly fine, turn the motor, everything was fine on his car. Then I fitted this start on my car, and for some reason I just swing the car started, but it still like turned very heavily. The car started, and I turned the distributor anti-clockwise to actually advance this distributor. I turned it up a lot to get the car idling on its own. We didn't connect any water lines or the radiator, nothing. The car literally just idled. And I'll throw you guys that clip in real quick because I was super happy at that point of time. Letting the car idle for around like a minute, 2 minutes, I switched off the car because obviously we don't have any coolant lines on the coolant in the engine. I was super happy, and we finally guys, we finally got the car started up, so we're making somewhat progress. But that doesn't leave the fact that I still need to sort out all that wiring, which I'll hopefully continue on today. I'm gonna try to actually solve the issue of why the engine is actually turning. I think it might be the cam pulley that might be out by a tooth, which I'm not entirely sure about, but I'm gonna check it out, see what's going on, check where the timing is of the dizzy, and we can just diagnose what's actually going for what at the current moment, because while everything is plugged in, it's actually the perfect moment to actually diagnose everything. And then once I feel happy with the engine, we can actually move on to wire tucking and extending the passenger side headlight, because I haven't extended these wires at all for the radiator, nor the passenger side headlight or the gearbox. But everything else as far as actually extended, I just need to tap it up, make it look nice and neat, tuck it away, and then we should be good to go. I left the fuel filter there for the time being, just for like starter purposes. So everything is going to change. This is literally just to get the car on the road, which I'm super excited about. And the first startup actually came sooner than I thought, and it actually happened in last week. You guys are checking this video out by Wednesday. The car started up last week, so if you guys do follow me on Instagram, once again, do follow me on Instagram to get like behind the scenes content regarding all the vehicles on the yard, because that is where you get the sneak peeks of everything going on. Another thing I'd like to mention to you guys will see the battery terminals is here in the engine bay. So we have the battery terminal for the starter, we have the battery terminal earth here just on the shock tower. And the reason for that is because I still need to buy a 4 or 0 gauge wire to actually get it all the way to the rear, because the battery will be located in the trunk of this car, because we are doing a battery location on this vehicle as well as a wire tuck. So a lot of wiring is still to happen. I know you guys are not very fond of wiring, but if you guys are enjoying the Electric content, don't forget to smash that like button, because the motor turns, everything sounds good. Sounds like there's a ping on this engine because we have a higher comp piston in this engine. So let's hope everything goes well. I didn't hear anything about bearings and stuff like that, so hopefully everything goes well with this engine, because I'm extremely excited and I can't afford a setback at the moment. So I'll put you guys to understand. We will diagnose what's going on here real quick, and we'll try to maybe start up the engine one more time, just get that car's battery, and then I'm just gonna play with the timing a little bit, check what's going on, try to start the car, and hopefully we can get that start up better than before. You're gonna form teruggedraaid die pot. Okay, close why now? it. Om te horen. As you guys could currently see, the car was idling, everything went well. The only reason why we technically struggled to start the engine at first is because this Honda's battery is actually quite weak. So we used Tegan's battery and we earthed. So, well, a quick recap. With a Mark 1 from factory, you have a earth, which is earth on the battery, to the body of the car and to the gearbox. So I actually technically forgot about the gearbox section. So we took some jumper cables, earthed it from the terminal of the battery to the gearbox, to the gearbox of the starter on the gearbox, and then the car swinged 10 times faster. Everything seemed fine, and I think that was actually our issue: battery and a lack on earths. So I'm not going to do anything regarding the earth at the time because we are actually going to relocate the battery to the trunk or to the boot. So we need to sort out the earth there. So my game of plan at the moment is I need to run a power wire straight from the battery all the way to the trunk. And I think with that I will need to run a earth as well. So I'm going to run the earth from the mounting on the gearbox all the way to the rear. And then I'll run it to the battery, and from the battery I'll just earth it somewhere in the trunk, and that way we should be sorted with everything like related to starting on this car. I did give my buddy from Kraaifontein a phone call, Alan Kutsia, and I think his name is Brothers Automotive Performance, I'm not entirely sure, but he helped me figure that out, and my uncle also helped me. So we all kind of brainstormed and sorted all that out at this current moment, which I'm super glad about. The car starts, the wiring is everywhere, but what I'm going to do at the moment, I'm just going to try to neaten up the wiring real quick. I know you guys are really fond about wiring, but results is what you guys would like to see. So I'm going to try to give you guys some results, because there's still a few wires I need to rack up. And besides that, I need to tuck the wires, get the radiator in, and just get this car sorted. I'm going to run with a normal basic setup in this car. So like the main plans for this car was to go over and beyond. But at the time, because I currently have like 3 vehicles to maintain, I'm going to go with everything I have here of this car. And then in time I will go about upgrading everything, because I think that is a better way for content as well. In the meantime, we're enjoying the car, we're learning a little bit more about the car, and we're doing some upgrades on the car as well, which is super awesome. So I'm gonna get you guys to understand, and we can sort out a little bit of wiring in this car. a few hours later, and I managed to get, well, this side of the engine's harness tucked. The driver side headlight, I actually got all the wiring here as well. So you guys can see here we have well, the headlight, the park bulb, we have this one here for the inner headlight, for the indicators, as well as for the horn we have right here. We have all the wires right here. I have it well, running all the way through the front panel, as you guys can, well, not see, which was the goal. We have the engine harness coming out right here, which is very difficult to shoot due to like the darkness, but I have the harness running out right here. I have it running to this oil sensor right here. I have it running to the alternator, which you guys can barely see. I have it running to this well, temperature sensor right here, distributor, and the knock sensor. So I have everything connected right here. So technically we could start the car, we should just remove the starter, because I had to remove the starter to remove this bracket in order to get the loom perfectly tucked underneath that here. There's actually a hole just below the front mounting on the front panel, and I ran the loom through that hole all the way up the engine, so you barely see anything, which is the goal, and like that's the perfect look I wanted to go for. With the starter, I'm gonna route a different well, route with that. I'm gonna try to route the wires like here by the mounting side and like bringing it through this hole, maybe right here, to the starter, so you can literally see like a small connection right there. Very basic, nothing extreme, because me bringing it through here all the way through here to the starter is going to be too much wiring in this section of the gearbox. So I'm going to try and bring it through this hole right here and maybe just connect it to the starter, which we definitely need to clean in the future, but I'm just going to slap it on once again. But this far I am extremely happy with the progress I've made today. We start up the car and we managed to make some massive progress with the wiring, which I'm extremely happy with. And this is actually where I'm going to end tonight's video. I'm gonna, well, make somewhat progress with the loom tonight still and tomorrow, but I'm ending off the video right here because you guys are not really fond of wiring, or that much fun with wiring on well, in the car. So I'm gonna do a little bit of wiring off camera, and hopefully tomorrow I can give you guys an update on what I actually done this for. But I'm happy with the wiring, and yeah, I hope you guys are gonna be too once I'm actually done with everything on this car. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.